Finally, interest rates have dropped. What this means for your wallet. Plus, he is one of the most influential people in Corpus Christi. Coming up, we have a live report with Andy Lascano on where they will be moving all of Hector P. Garcia's archives. Your KRIS 6 News at 5 starts right now. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. After weeks of pushback from President Donald Trump, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates, now facing challenges to its independence and economic uncertainty stoked by tariffs and trade policy. Karen Caifa is in Washington with a look at what this means to consumers.
The Federal Reserve on Wednesday cutting interest rates for the first time in 2025.
In light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by a 1/4 percentage point.
The move comes as the Fed continues to assess the impact of President Donald Trump's tariffs on inflation, which has begun to tick up, and as the labor market shows multiple warning signs.
We've seen hiring slow. Teen unemployment is skyrocketing. Black unemployment skyrocketing. The Fed is concerned about the job market much more than they are concerned about the inflation side of their mandate.
And as credit scores fall at the fastest pace since the Great Recession, the national average FICO score dropped by 2 points this year, according to data released by the analytics company Tuesday, the most since 2009.
Inflation is sticking around. Interest rates are still really high, even with these cuts from the Fed. So it's just a really tough time for an awful lot of people.
Matt Schultz, chief consumer finance analyst for personal finance website LendingTree, says consumers can take their own steps to help reduce their debt burden rather than wait for the Fed.
There are things that you can do with interest rates that will have a bigger impact than anything that the Fed will do.
Schultz says that includes shopping around for a mortgage or auto loan, or making a balance transfer to a 0% interest credit card, or getting a debt consolidation loan to lower interest payments each month. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
Well, after the Central Texas floods, alert systems are more important than ever before. And now there is a new system in the area to keep you informed on emergency situations. The local emergency planning committee, along with the city of Corpus Christi and area county representatives, has launched a new system to keep you in the know. Here in Corpus Christi, you're probably familiar with the reverse alert system. It is now the regional reverse alert system. It expanded systems now includes Nueces, Aransas, San Patricio, and Refugio counties. Once you sign up for it, you'll receive alerts via email, text, or phone.
I would tell the community, if you're not already on Reverse Alert, please get on it. Just go to reversealert.org. That is the way our emergency management office, everybody that is here today, this is the quickest way we have to get you the emergency information that you need to have in the fastest, safest, and most consistent way.
Now, if you find you're getting too many alerts that just don't affect you, just go back into the system and turn those alerts off. And Nueces County commissioners gave unanimous approval today to a $7 million project to renovate the medical examiner's office. CLK Architects was hired to do the renovations. The project consists of expanding the ME's office, adding a new suite for high-risk cases, and an all-new ventilating system. The expansion will allow the administration area to be separated from the procedure areas. That will create 2 buildings. Construction is expected to begin next month, and we are told by CLK Architects that it will take about 18 months to finish.
We took some tours to look at our models, and the one we liked was Conroe. Thanks to Conroe, we modeled this building to some of what they had.
Well, work on the expansion and renovation of the medical examiner's office began in April of last year, and it was expected to take about 18 months to complete. Now, about 2 months ago, we told you about legislation aimed at keeping jobs at Corpus Christi Army Depot. Now, there's an update from Washington. Congressman Michael Cloud says the House's version of the National Defense Authorization Act includes the Depot Investment Reform Act, a measure he co-led. It contains amendments to strengthen and modernize CCAD, including relief for canceled program debt and funding for a new powertrain facility.
They're a help. They're a big help. And without them, I don't think CCAD could maintain its workforce.
The bill will be next to be considered by the Senate. We will keep you updated right here on KRISTV.com. And there's been some rain in our neighborhoods. I know I got some, but just how much has it impacted our watershed? That's an important question. Meteorologist Stephanie Lauber is here to break it all down. Please, good news, right?
Good news is that we have more opportunities on the way. I know a lot of folks maybe felt like they didn't get much today, but our southern neighborhoods were the winners. And you know what? A lot of that rain passed by our official reporting stations. That's why I'm going to show you what things are looking like on the Chris 6 Neighborhood Weather Network. But we'll start out with a view of the radar. Paused. A lot of the showers in southern Jim Wells County have now tapered off. So let's take a look at how things have panned out in the Kingsville neighborhood. Yep, there's that last little shower there. So looking at how some of that rainfall has measured up on our neighborhood weather stations, powered by your Tempest home weather stations, by the way. Not a lot. Dropping the bucket off East County Road 2120. 0.02 of an inch from southwest Kingsville and nothing off Bishop Badger Meadowbrook. But if we take things out to the south side, we are looking better out here, especially near the Oso Creek, where some of us got close to that 1/10 of an inch mark. So, by the way, Sunday is an important day. We are giving away a Tempest home weather station, and you've got an opportunity to win one here. All you have to do is head to our website, christv.com/weather, to learn more.
Thank you, Stephanie. He was a World War II veteran, civil rights leader, and advocate for underserved communities. Neighbors are now holding a dedication ceremony for the new Hector P. Garcia exhibit downtown, which will honor the legacy and the life of Dr. Garcia. Andy Lascano is live downtown with more details. Hi, Andy.
Hey, Clara, and good evening, everybody. You could say we're standing in the Hall of Fame. You could compare this place to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, to the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, to the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. These are all historical artifacts of Dr. Hector P. Garcia. From his Presidential Medal of Freedom over there to the typewriter and all other things. And we are honored to have his daughter, Cecilia Garcia Akers, with us. It's an interesting story that you were sharing with me about what took so long to have this exhibit opened up.
Well, it did take decades, but we're finally here. We're very happy with it. The university has had this collection since 1992, and we just have been struggling to get the public to see his work and for people to learn from him, school children, people studying for their doctorate. So we're finally here.
And this isn't all of it. Like we were saying, we're comparing it to the Alamo, where they have a lot of artifacts still in storage. You got more to come.
We have the length of a football field in documents and over 5,000 photographs.
All right. I appreciate your time. We're downtown, 233 North Chaparral, for the exhibit for Dr. Hector P. Garcia. Clara, back to you.
Breaking barriers and building trust. I'm Michaela Chavez with a look at a local program hoping to break the silence around mental health in Hispanic communities.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, for many in the Coastal Bend, soccer is more than just a sport. It's part of their heritage. Since 2017, the Corpus Christi Football Club has given neighbors of all ages an opportunity to hit the field and play the world's most popular sport. The club is currently working on its new facility and gearing up for their professional debut in March. However, Neighborhood News reporter Adam Beam spoke with some of the club leaders whose real goals are to continue their lifelong passion for the sport and train the next generation of players.
It was always just a resource that I had to kind of escape from things that I would deal with in life, you know, and not always bad things, but it was always something that gave me that feel of joy.
The club currently offers several programs for young athletes and coaches like Iwabuchi, and they say they're always ready to accept new players.
When it comes to mental health in Hispanic communities, sometimes stigma and silence can get in the way of getting help. I'm Michaela Chavez, and I'll show you how Texas A&M University Corpus Christi is working to expand its resources right here at home in the next couple of years.
we have found overwhelmingly that there aren't a lot of services specifically tailored to their needs.
That's why the university launched a new online program this fall, the Master of Science in Professional Counseling, Hispanic Mental Health Counseling. Its goal? Break down social barriers, what others call stigma.
People are worried about being ostracized or others thinking that they are crazy.
Department Chair of the Counseling Department, Michelle Hollenbaugh, says the biggest challenge is in the home.
Sometimes things can come into play like machismo, things where they might think that they're going to be seen as weak.
It's something sophomore Max Rangel says he's seen his whole life.
I'm from a Hispanic heritage, so yeah, it's definitely, you keep it to yourself and stuff like that.
He admits he's never sought counseling before coming to Corpus Christi.
Definitely dealt with that myself, and from everything from, emotional passings from family members and stuff like that, and dealing with it here on campus is definitely a struggle to us students.
So far, 5 students are in the program, training with Hispanic individuals, couples, and children, while also learning Spanish terminology and Latin cultural history.
There are lots of different backgrounds who are considered Hispanic, right? And so because of that, wanting to be aware of that and learning that each individual client is going to come in with their own level of acculturation and needs.
In fact, Hollenbaugh says most of the students are people who already live here looking to give back, something Rangel says he now realizes can make a big difference.
Having those opportunities and stuff like that is key for us. It keeps us going, keeps our heads straight within our work, not so much on our daily struggles and stuff like that.
TAMUCC offers free and low-cost counseling to all community members at their Natural Resources Center. You can schedule a face-to-face or a virtual appointment by calling 361-825-3988. Reporting in the studio, I'm Michaela Chavez.
All right, time to check on those roadways. We are taking a look at SPID, of course, and there are, to be expected, many busy bees out there. That's what we're seeing, but cars are moving. That's what we like to see on the camera. But if you're heading down 37 for that commute here, good news, nothing to worry about out there. No slowdowns to pinpoint for you. But if we are making trips around the rest of town, can we expect the same luck? Well, so far, that interchange around SPID and the Crosstown is looking pretty good. Saratoga, not too bad. Gets a little slow around Staples, which, if you take that route, not surprising. Staples itself, yep, busy from about Everhart all the way down to Saratoga, but Everhart, Weber, not as bad. So as you head out, make sure you stay safe and you drive safe. That's a look at your traffic report. Your forecast is next. Hey there, we're going to start off your forecast with the very latest hot topic in the tropics. We have our next named storm. Good news, it's nowhere near us, but we've been telling you about some areas of interest the National Hurricane Center has been watching well out into the Atlantic. And that big red blob we've been talking about, that is now Gabrielle. It spent a brief time this morning as Tropical Depression number 7. Gabrielle is expected to take a path that could bring it either right over or very close to the island of Bermuda out there in the Atlantic. But aside from that, really shouldn't be a threat to land. The good news about this forecast track, even though things are early, I do expect a lot to change between here and there. As it approaches Bermuda, still expected to be a Category 1 hurricane because these waters up here are cooler. That is going to give some obstacle to the strengthening of this storm, but we'll keep an eye on it. No threat to Texas from the tropics at this point, but just interesting that we are just getting to our next named storm now as we've moved past the official peak of hurricane season. But while we have been tracking some storms across basically Cuba, between the Yucatan and Cuba, not a whole lot going on in the Gulf, the Caribbean. There are 2 more waves that have come off the coast of Africa that the National Hurricane Center is watching. Now, because they're so close together, it does help to lessen the chance that we would see development from either of those, and they're behind Gabrielle, which is right here, so it's pretty busy out there. That tends to keep things at bay. So since the tropics are all good as far as Texas is concerned, let's talk about what we have been dealing with, which is average temperatures for this time of the year. Yesterday we panned out today just a little bit warmer. Yesterday we hit the mark, and the day we were just below. So we've been on ebbing and flowing on either side of that 91-degree mark that we expect for this time of the year. I do think we will stay pretty close to average, as I'll show you in the 7-day forecast, but we need more days on this calendar with green. Today, the airport missing out. Yesterday was pretty good good though, more than 1/4 of an inch. We need to see more days where we at least hit that 1/4 of an inch mark. So I'm happy that we have multiple rain chances coming our way in the forecast. But there are some updates to what we're expecting to watch for. I'll tell you that in a second. But the rainfall today has pretty much been in our southern neighborhoods, keeping temperatures across parts of Clayburgh, Jim Wells County, Duval County a bit cooler than what we've been dealing with the past couple of days, because y'all haven't really seen as much of the rainfall, but we're just getting started. We've got more humidity today. You may have noticed it a little bit yesterday during the overnight period this morning. Yeah, we're feeling a little more of that air you can wear, and that will be heading up into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the final days of summer, if you will. So that's where we're going to see better rain chances. In fact, I wanted to show you the big weather picture, because if you notice this dashed line, that's a little wrinkle here at the ground level in our atmosphere, a coastal trough. That kind of moved ashore late last night or early this morning, depending on how you see it, and it's down by the RGV. So that's the reason why our southern zones have seen more of the rainfall today. Unfortunately, because that has formed, we're likely not going to see as much rain as we expected heading into tomorrow. That may also dial back on the rain chances for Friday too. But we're looking even better for the weekend. So as long as we have these continued chances in the forecast, we're doing all right. Looks like Saturday night into Sunday, we could be looking at some isolated rain chances. And as we start next week too, there's another front that is trying to approach Texas, but having a hard time because the overall weather pattern is not as friendly. But we're still expecting daily rain chances as we head on into the first few days of fall.
The Tuloso Midway Education Foundation is celebrating 20 years of helping students and staff. I'm Tyrese Boone, and I'll show you how this foundation has helped impact and cultivate learning.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
I'm Tyrese Boone, your Northwest Neighborhood News reporter. For the past 2 decades, the Tuloso Midway Education Foundation has helped teachers fund grants to improve education. I'm here at the celebration learning what strides the foundation has made for the district.
We've been helping TM thrive since '05.
That's the mantra students, supporters, and staff, like Executive Director Nikki Horman said as they made their way to Tuloso Midway's Education Foundation. This marks their 20th year helping teachers and staff to provide better education to its students.
The foundation was started to help out school district with budgetary restraints so we can still give the kids everything that they need and more.
Nikki Horman is the Executive Director of the foundation. She tells me over the last 20 years, they've awarded 426 grants, totaling up to more than $1 million. The money going towards field trips, school supplies, and much more, all to make learning fun again.
It definitely has helped me, and it also made me have fun at school, because field trips too, it's very fun to have field trips.
Students like Adley Arriaga appreciate the support for their education. The foundation's overall mission is to ignite the spirit of education for future generations of students to come.
You don't want to just be sitting in your desk off a projector doing a workbook. That's how it's been done since like the 60s. We're kind of over that. We're trying to get new, fresh ideas and really hands-on experiences for these kids.
Directors of the Tuloso Midway Education Foundation will look to strengthen education for another 20 years. On the Northwest side, I'm your Neighborhood News reporter, Tyrese Boone, Chris 6 News.
All right, Tyrese, thank you. And our neighborhood news reporters are hosting listening tours in every neighborhood. You're taking a live look right now. One is happening, like we said right now. Leah Zora is at the Art Center of Corpus Christi to hear investigative stories about things happening in your community. Now, both she and investigative producer Rachel Clow are hearing about what's most important to you, our neighbors. So you can dig into those stories for you. The listening tour is expected to last until 8 p.m. So you still have time to get down there. If you didn't get a chance to make it to today's listening tour, you still have another chance on Saturday. Leah will be at the Southside Farmers Market on Everhart Road this coming Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. And you're getting a live look outside our neighborhoods in Corpus Christi. We'll be right back on Chris 6 News.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, Wednesday is the day the United States honors its Constitution and newest citizens. It marks the day, 1787, when members of the U.S. Constitutional Convention finished writing and signed the nation's guiding document. The U.S. Constitution begins with the words, "We the people," and stands as the world's longest surviving written charter of government. This day also recognizes the many of those new citizens that take an oath to allegiance to the United States.
Very cool. And there's another cool date coming up in the next 7 days, the start of fall. What's your favorite part of fall?
I would say the more cooler temperatures compared in Texas, right, in South Texas, but like you can go outside and it's not blasting hot.
Yeah. How about Misery Loves Company before I show you this?
Hopefully we get
All
that.
of the lower 48 is going to have a delayed start to fall because we're probably going to be feeling a little not fall as we head into next week. First few days are looking to be a little bit warmer than what we typically expect, and showing you here on the 7-day forecast what that could mean for us here in the coastal band is temps that are back in those middle 90s. But you see, I have an opportunity for rain. That's a chance to knock it down a bit.
Alrighty. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 6. Bye-bye.